Hello, my name is Britt Hancock, and I just want to thank the Grateful Hearts Foundation for helping us take our Wilderness Ministry professional course with SROM. I signed up for this course because my wife and I founded a missions training and sending agency. We raised our family on the mission field as Pioneer Church Planting Ministries missionaries, and the Lord put it on our heart to transition to training missionaries. And a big part of how we do that is we run a wilderness semester, and so the training in wilderness, professional level wilderness ministry is proven to be indispensable for us, and so that's the big why that we signed up for this course. Boy, we learned so many things while we were on this course. I think one of the most astonishing pieces was like the program development and the very excellent teaching in brain science and learning, the peak itinerary model, liminality particularly, just so many things along that level. And then the curriculum progression and how that's all laid out in the course to kind of move people in specific, pointed ways to get the highest degree of transference and transformation in a person's life, and to capture, the great tool of the wilderness as the best, really, classroom that we have for transformation available to us in our society. I think one of the biggest things that I processed through on the course was SROM's very excellent example of plurality and leadership. So here's what I mean. Group dynamics, really we operated as one group, and there were two designated leaders for that group. And so it was a very excellent and healthy and great example of how two leaders can work together leading the same group. And so that probably was the biggest area of growth for me, seeing a positive example of healthy pluralistic leadership and how to employ that and kind of grab that piece and pull it into our leadership philosophy. Personal growth areas for me in the area of interpersonal relationship competency and being very aware of the intensity of my personality and my gift sets, and it's that the way that impacts other people, and particularly the power of great questions and the timing of asking great questions, and how that helps people move forward in a more intentional way. So more kind of mentoring, fathering, rather than so much overt, maybe goal orientation and things along that nature. A better way to reflect my heart as a person and as a leader and as a discipler and a trainer. I think, so my wife and I have been on a 30-year journey following God down the steps of gaining enough competency and substance to call workers to the harvest, to train workers, and then to help workers stay the task. And so we've been building these pieces, sort of building an outline, following this vision and directive from God that we were given. That I had an encounter with God in 1989 that put us on this pathway, and we've been building the steps ever since. And I've never really, since that time, I've kind of been stepping forward in the unknown as God allows us to experience and to sort of build the outline, waiting to get to a point where we can start to really fill in the content. And we have multiple countries going now. We have missionaries in multiple countries, but being able, I think, to fill in the final gaps for our programming, our content, our curriculum, and specifically the best model to employ to be systematic about that, how that curriculum builds. For the first time since God spoke to me in 1989, I feel like all of the dust is settled, all of the fog is clear, and I have clear steps and clear clear directive from God and understanding about the what and the excuse me, and the how. And I've never been there before, and I'm super excited, and so I can't express my gratitude enough. That would be my big why I'm thankful. For us to get the brain science piece and the why wilderness qualification piece and liminality and peak itinerary model. Those things are big overarching ideas that are incredible and probably the best example of life on life, transformative discipleship, implementation, modeling that I've ever seen. My I am statement. I think I can sum that up in saying, here's how I feel. The word perfect in the scripture, it says be perfect as Christ is perfect. And that word really means complete. It doesn't mean like without flaws. And so what I feel is this massive distinction. I feel complete. I feel perfect in that sense as far as not all of our content, because I have this all-consuming thing, the directive of God for my life, that's swept us up in this 30-year journey, and I've never felt like I could see all of the targets to point at. I've felt incomplete, meaning that I didn't have all the pieces to fill in those gaps where we can really execute. And so I am complete. That's what I feel like in that context. Yeah, I think an upgrade is for me to broaden my leadership envelope and add a healthy execution for some pluralistic leadership in our leadership model. That's a really big one. Our programming content and scheme and understanding and how to implement the vision is a massive upgrade for us. And on a personal level, an upgrade for being more intentional for the strategic use of questions as far as a higher mentoring and fathering competency that can assuage some kind of maybe what was an overarching goal focus that sometimes has a tendency to run over people or be too intense or be too overbearing or something along those lines. So those are three big distinctives for me, I think.